Nestled in the heart of historic downtown Wilkesboro, the 1915 offers a wedding experience like no other. Once a federal courthouse and post office, the 1915 combines rich history with timeless charm. From intimate gatherings to full-day rentals, we provide the perfect backdrop for your most cherished moments. With indoor and outdoor options, bridal and groom suites, every detail is crafted just for you. Make your wedding unforgettable at the 1915, Wilkesboro's historic wedding venue, where your story begins.
Closed captions for this episode of Life in Wilkes is brought to you by Deal Insurance Agency in Wilkesboro, an award-winning, experienced, family-owned and operated agency with service and coverage that goes above and beyond expectations. Join us on a captivating journey as we explore the charm, history, and vibrant culture of Wilkes County. Discover the hidden gems, inspiring stories, and remarkable people that make Wilkes a place worth knowing and celebrating. Join us now and experience the unique essence of life in Wilkes.
Seth Cohn, how are you?
I'm wonderful, Carl. Thank you. How have you been?
I've been great. It's good to see you. It's been a while. I know you guys get so busy over there in Wilkesboro. I used to say Dooley's, but it's so much more than that now. It's like the complex. So you've got Dooley's and Two Boros and the brewery. Let's talk about what it's like there during the holiday season, because we're in the middle of that now. Come out of Thanksgiving, now going to Christmas, but we've got New Year's coming up as well. So talk about life on the square, if you will, in Wilkesboro, and what the holidays have come to mean to your guests when they come to see you at your restaurants.
Well, the holidays are always just a great time in downtown Wilkesboro. The town of Wilkesboro does a fantastic job with the Christmas in the Commons. It's always one of my favorite events of the year to see them decorate with all the Christmas tree and the lights and seeing just everything light up at night. It's just so pretty. And then when we get a little snowfall, it makes it even better. Our guests love it. They love coming down and visiting the downtown and seeing what they've really done with that area. They're able to walk around on the streets. They visit Two Boros Brewery. They go over to Dooley's for lunch or dinner, go shopping at Mother Earth. There's so much more with Bella's in the downtown now, Vintage Corner. It's just really a great atmosphere for people just to get out to do. There's a lot of things there to do. Absolutely.
Right?
It's wonderful. A lot of people don't even realize what all's in the downtown still, but it just is continuing to grow, and we love to see it.
You know, we saw each other at the Christmas parade. Yep. So we were doing some things with the gingerbread house competitions and going back and forth there. And then, of course, the light up the Commons, or Christmas in the Commons. The first time we filmed there was, how long ago was that, Tim? 4 or 5 years ago? I think
it was 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
We had just started our giveaway for the
exactly. So that, let's see, you were there, and Mark Cook was there, working together, and the light up. It was a wonderful event.
Absolutely,
man.
It was great.
And it's just continued to get better, right?
It has. I mean, it takes a lot of community support for that. We're lucky to have great businesses in the downtown, great support. Of course, our family business, Cohn Enterprises, has donated a PlayStation 5 every year. This year, when we switched up a little bit, but Cam Finley and Finley Properties donates the Xbox. Justin Dingy with Dingy Law donates the Nintendo Switch. So when you have good community base like that come together and be able to give away prizes like that, it really is a lot of that true sense of Christmas is giving back to the community.
And everybody loves it.
They do. They love it. And seeing those little kids' faces light up, and a lot of them, the reason we do it is for those children that probably wouldn't normally have that opportunity to get a gift like that. And then here they are, they're getting a big gift before it's even the holidays.
Yeah, that's nice. Were you out there in the middle of the snow? When it snowed, we were there.
Yeah, it was. Had my little merchant booth set up, and we were just at this time, we did a raffle this year. Normally we do our Elf on the Shelf Scavenger Hunt, but we just did not have enough setup and time and preparation. I take a lot of credit on that. I just didn't. I was a little too busy with other events going on. Yeah, we had. Well, it was going from, like you said, from Thanksgiving. We're doing Thanksgiving caterings nonstop, and then we go right into the Christmas season. And somehow I just got a little behind, and so the merchants were also the same way. All the merchants. But this year we kind of bypassed the Elf on the Shelf, and we went for just a raffle where you just had to enter your name into it for the prizes. We are going back to our Elf on the Shelf Scavenger Hunt next year, so we're really looking forward to that. And
well, you know, the way I look at you, Seth, and if I think of think of the square there and what you've got going on during Christmas season. It's like if we transfer that to North Pole activity, it's like you're not only Santa. Yes, there are elves, but you're one or two of the elves. So you've got elf duty, Santa duty. You're doing the whole thing. I mean, since we met years ago, you are always moving. It's like nonstop. Do you ever take time to rest?
I do. A little bit. Not going to say I take a lot. I probably should definitely take a lot more. My children are getting bigger every year, and I feel like I'm missing out with them. So I'm trying to scale back what I'm doing and focus a lot more on the kids. Doesn't always translate that way. Every time I say I'm going to take a step back, I feel like I take one step back and two steps forward. It's like with the new brewery expansion. We've got that's going on 421 right now. So we've got the brewery expansion over
going?
there. Fantastic. We're just waiting on our final boiler inspection. Everything has been done for a few months. Once we get through this boiler inspection, hopefully either don't think it's going to happen today at this point, but so we'll say next week. Once we get through that boiler inspection, we're planning on opening everything the first of the year. We're ready to go. I think I ordered almost 50,000 pounds of grain, so we're sitting there ready to brew at this point. We're really looking forward to that. And as soon as the brewery kicks off, obviously we'll have a little warmer weather starting to come behind, and that's when we're going to open our Yadkin River Outfitters to do tubing and kayaking.
That's exactly the way Santa would talk. He's saying, we got to brew this stuff, but really it's for the reindeer.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, they want that grain, you know. They got to eat.
Got to have the grain.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we've stopped by there a few times just to kind of watch the progress, because I know it's taking a little longer, which that's the way it goes, right? But what I was curious about, because I walked around to the back and I was looking at the water, and I'm like, okay, Seth said that this is going to be a launch place for canoes, and how many, just so that everybody knows and knows that this is coming, how many people will you be able to launch or accommodate there? What does that number look like?
That's going to be a tough question because we haven't been able to do it yet. I will tell you right now, I have 20 kayaks. I have about 50 tubes, river rafts and tubes. We have, I think, 4 or 5 canoes for the bigger groups like that. So we have quite a bit. I would say somewhere between the 20 and 50 person range that we're going to be able to handle at a time.
Is that so that I know, is that a good number?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, I think our target would be about 50 at a time.
Right.
And we'll continue to grow and get more kayaks and canoes as we need. Obviously, 50 tubes is a lot to start with, but you want to have extra in case they pop or something happens.
How does that tie into? That seems obvious, but I'm going you to share how it ties into the outdoor economy and our great outdoors in Wilkes County, things to do. So you're blending not just a launch pad, but you've got a place people can eat, they can have something to drink, and you have a gathering, and you can go tubing. So when that happens, is that the first in Wilkes County that at this point?
Well, I think we've had a few other places that have actually done tubing and canoeing and all that. Obviously, Mark Cook tried to do it with the downtown. It was a lot, and Mark, as he found out the same way, it's really hard to spread yourself out so far apart. It's a little bit easier like I'm doing in the downtown Wilkesboro when I can walk between businesses. But when you're going from Cook's down to his Cook's West Park location to the Cook Outfitters, then it makes it a little bit harder when you're having to go across town. And obviously, employees are the hardest thing to do because it's really hard to put somebody in a place and they're going to run it like you would want it run.
But you're doing not just the launch and that experience, but you have other reasons for people to be there, right?
Absolutely. So
that's the point.
That's the whole focus on it. It's to really grow that brewery side, and what we've done with that location. We've taken a location that was underused and prime location. Sure. It just didn't have the use that it should be out of it. It was neglected from time. So we've taken it, we've redone the whole ramp area back there, cleared it all out, made it usable again. We've got the new location for the brewery. We've got this the Yadkin River Outfitters, which you can actually come and park there at the location at the brewery. We'll shuttle you up to the dam and spillway location, drop you there, and let you actually come and float down the river or a kayak or two back down the river, get off at our location right there. And then when you get off, you just walk right up the ramp. You don't have to worry about hauling equipment anywhere or having to be at a certain time at a certain place to be able to meet up and get picked up. And then when you come up, we're going to have the brewery to be able to come to. Eventually, we're putting in another restaurant over there. I have the Cigar and Bourbon Lounge, which seems to be the biggest excitement for people when they hear about that. And then we're going to have a little if you want to say a concert area out there, we're going to be able to put a stage out, have concerts in the summertime.
Wow.
You'll be able to have food trucks until we get the restaurant up and
So
going.
all of that going on at that one
Yep.
spot. But people, so let me clarify what I think I heard you say. So people come there and park, and then you put them on a van, take them to the launch area, right? So they're not launching from your place; they're landing at your place.
They can do both. They can launch from our location, and then we can set up a time to pick it up and go meet you down at Smoot Park or go down to Roaring River. Obviously, you can go as far as you want to go, and the longer it is, then we would have to. It's a little harder to predict those times at that point, but cell phone day and age, it makes it a little bit easier to call and say, hey, we're here waiting on a pickup if we don't have it already scheduled. Our goal would be to come meet at the Two Boros location, and the Yadkin River Outfitters will shuttle you up to the dam and spillway, drop you there, and that way there is no wait time when you actually get back.
It's a little easier that way.
It is. Right? It's a little bit easier for us because we're just shuttling as we have a group going up there, and then when everybody's taking their time and getting off. And when you get there, we're going to have a lot of activities to do while you're waiting on the rest of your group. We're going to have a little 6-hole disc golf putting course. We've already got the baskets for that. I'm going to put in a little playground, a little dog park for people to be able to sit out and enjoy the music, and just some more fun outdoor activities. You hit it on a moment ago with outdoor tourism. Thomas Sally has really done a great job as the tourism director here for now Wilkes County, no longer just the Wilkesboro tourism director, but he's just one of my good friends. Love working with him. Probably one of my favorite people in any type of office.
He's a real pro, isn't he?
He's great at what he does, and I mean, he's a real gem for us to have in our community. But by working through the town of Wilkesboro and now Wilkes County, we're able to grow more of our tourism base, which we really got to be known for.
Seth, don't you feel like, or do you feel like, that as time has gone by, say if we look at the past 10 years, past 5 years up to now, that the individual communities truly do have more of a singular focus for the total of the county rather than just one particular area, because what's good for everybody, obviously what's good for the county is good for everybody, and everybody working on being the best county that Wilkes can be, then each town, each small area benefits greatly from that.
Absolutely. That's always been one of my mottos that my dad taught me a long time ago. While my focus may be on my business individually, it might be focused on Dooley's. It's never a competition of everybody else. The more we can have with everybody to grow, the more everybody's going to prosper together. And that same concept translates over to the towns of the county. So while Wilkesboro may focus on their concert weekends and concert in the Commons, you've got North Wilkesboro focus with their concerts on the deck, but together that creates a tourism destination where people can actually come. Same thing with the breweries and distilleries and all the rest of them. You might have Call Family, Copper Barrel, Two Boros, you have vineyards all around, but the more you get, it creates a cohesive environment where people can actually come and visit all of those, and then everybody prospers together.
What do you think about the holiday season too? Because you look at times of the year from a tourism standpoint, and you've got your strong season, your softer seasons, but it does seem to me like that the holiday season in Wilkes, more people are celebrating. I think people have always celebrated individually, but more people are coming together. I mean, if you start the season off with Light Up Downtown in North Wilkesboro, then you go to the Commons and that great celebration that happens there. And as we begin to look at how many people are showing up, I don't know if you had a chance to see the parade route this year, but I don't know if it was record numbers, but it certainly appeared to be a lot more than the past several years.
It did feel like there was a lot of people out there. I mean, the last couple of years, the biggest thing would be obviously COVID. That changed everything.
Of course.
That took a lot of numbers away, but we definitely seen it grow year after year since then. And I want to say this year was just a fantastic turnout. It was a great route with the parade. People were really excited. There was just a different energy that was about it this year.
What do you think about that idea of having, more of a Christmas season that invites tourists in with things to do? I think all the merchants, I think everybody would be into that, right?
Absolutely. I think it's great. It's similar to what we talked about a moment ago with Elf on the Shelf Scavenger Hunt. It brings people out to businesses that they normally wouldn't be able to walk into, and they would say, oh, well, I never would have thought to walk in this business right here. I just walk by it every day. I probably would say that's the number one thing I hear from people about Two Boros is, well, I didn't even realize Two Boros was here. I didn't realize there was a pizzeria. I just drove by and saw a brewery sign. I don't drink, but I just tried the pizza today. And this is the best pizza I've ever had.
Don't you get, the food obviously is great, so we know that to be true. but also the history part.
Yes.
The history is so rich in Wilkes County, but you've got the county seat, there in Wilkesboro and the old courthouse, which is now the Heritage Museum. It's so beautifully done. And that's what I see people commenting about. People that I talk with, they say it's just such a pretty downtown area. And it's just getting better, right? So history is, I think areas that celebrate history and really try to preserve it, things just tend to be a little bit nicer.
Absolutely. I mean, the Parks and Rec department often gets the overlook on things, but they do such an amazing job at what they do in the downtowns, and they really, really grow every year. They take a lot of pride in what they do, and you can tell just from the lights and the light ups and those little events like that and what they really strive to accomplish. But I can't agree with you more on it. Every year, it just seems to be getting better and better, and I feel like it's just going to continue to do that. It's going to grow, and as long as you get more and more merchants involved, more and more people involved, and we all work together, then it can't do anything but get better.
So I know that you have a very busy schedule. I know you work hard. You're not only running different businesses, but you're also a chef. You're working on that side of it. But with all that work and all the family responsibilities, all those things you have to do, community service, all those things we do, when you're standing out in front of your place and you're just breathing it all in, you're seeing it all. And you're getting older. We're all getting older, so things feel different as we get older. So
your perspective changes.
Yeah, it does. It does change. But do you really feel it at that moment? Are you like, this is just getting better and better?
I do.
Not just a marketing thing, because we all say things, but I've talked to a lot of people and I said, it's really good here,
It is. It's a great community. I mean, that's one of the best things I can say is when COVID happened, we saw the community come together and support local business and really help keep those businesses striving and alive. And my business is no exception from that. I mean, Two Boros was brand new. We just opened our doors in January of 2020, and then March, the pandemic hit and we had to shut our doors. We had great support locally in those few months, and we continue to grow and grow and grow. Now, obviously, any business suffered during that time period, and I've seen every year get better and better because of it. And it's just the tourism aspect is coming back. People are traveling. I think we're going to see a big pickup this year in spending again. So I'm really excited to be able to see the changes. The last couple of years have been a struggle for anybody who's been in business. It's been tough times, but I definitely think that we're seeing an uptick with it all. And from my personal side of things and business side of it, I see our sales increasing. I see people happier and coming out. We definitely see a lot more traveling. This year was the busiest Christmas tree season that we've seen. The week after Thanksgiving is always busy. This year it started the week before Thanksgiving. And we were just lining out the door at Dooley's and Two Boros on the weekend before Thanksgiving.
So these were all tourist things.
Absolutely, definitely tourists. I mean, you have your locals too, and I don't want to steer away from that because they are the lifeblood of the community, is the local people who come out and support you. But really your big expense or your big income is all during those tourist parts, because that is where people are coming out and they have the expendable money to say, oh, well, we're going to get a Christmas tree, so let's stop and have lunch. They're willing to spend a little bit more than somebody who's thinking, well, we have Christmas right around the corner. We got a budget on that. So everybody's budgeting this time of year, but when you have that combination of your local support as well as your tourism increase, then it definitely helps everybody's bottom line.
Right. How are you seeing another area that we're talking to a lot of people on the show who are doers, and they're people that have made Wilkes County home.
Yeah.
I had someone in a couple of days ago, and she was from Florida. Her husband was from Alaska. And they're here now, and they're building a home, and it's not a starter home. I mean, it's, they're people that have things to do things with. When you have an opportunity to, I know you're busy at the restaurant, but in just talking to people who are new to the area, what do you hear people say who are new residents of Wilkes County?
I would say It might even be 1 out of every 3 people I speak with that are coming in are new residents who are looking to move here. They just love the community. They love the friendliness of it. They love the atmosphere. It's such great weather. It's such great things to do. I mean, there's a great outdoor tourism economy that we've already talked about. There's little shops to be able to go and see what you've got on Main Street. So you've got Antiques over here. You've got Seasons Inspirations in Wilkesboro. I mean, it's just, then you've got the restaurant approach, the home of moonshine with racing being back. I mean, there's so many great things to be able to do here, and it's only getting better every year.
So let me make sure I understand what you said. So you said a third of the people that you talk to are people that have either moved here or are considering moving here.
Yeah, out of the people that I don't recognize. So my normals, obviously, my regulars that live here or that come in all the time. I have a great support from outside the community that comes here on a regular basis just to be able to visit Dooley's because of gluten-free options.
Right.
But for the people that I don't recognize, I always try to make an opportunity to go up and talk to them, introduce myself, make sure everything's great for their meal and their first time. And then occasionally I'll have missed them. They'll, oh, this is our second time or third time here. But I usually try to talk to them every time they come in. And I would say probably 1 out of every 3 that I've discussed it with say they're looking to move here, or they love the community aspect here, they love the options that they have, and they're looking at either buying a home if they can find one that's for sale right now. This is a big issue.
Building one might be a better option.
At this point, I mean, I know I'm friends with a lot of realtors, and they say the same thing. We need houses to sell. We do not have enough houses to sell in this community. So it's definitely been a huge influx of people coming to our community.
Yeah, that's nice. That's good news. Another thing, because of proximity, you have the Heritage Museum, and I know that two gatherings that I've been to over the past few months, lunch was at Dooley. So the Daniel Boone gathering, and there was another group of historians, and your place was lunchtime. So you get to meet a lot of people who are history buffs traveling. That's not a small number either, is it?
No, it's not. I mean, that's a big group. I get calls all the time. We just had Our State Magazine come in again. They were having lunch there every time they come to town. They look to eat lunch with us at Dooley's. I know Jean Hefner has been a great job with the Gingerbread House and her event over there, and she brought them down with us. So I love being able to see that community aspect of working together, but it's really great to see these historians come in and discuss that, because obviously in Dooley's we have so many pictures that are hanging on the walls, and people love to see that history. And that's something that my dad taught me a long time ago, was, you pay homage to where you came from. And obviously our community was built on that. Nike Smithy was a big part of that, and the Smithy Hotel and the Smithy department stores. And then you walk over to my wife's store.
Ikerd.
Yeah, Nikerd.
Well, no, I know.
Everybody knows him.
I know it's Ike, but then as we did all the research, Ikerd, that's
Nikerd was his real name. He went by Nike. But then you, like I was saying, you go over to my wife's store in Mother Earth in the health food store, and we've got 300-400 pictures in there of pictures throughout the history, from the 40s floods to the original Torrey Oak tree to some of the first trials of the original settlers here. I mean, that's all the way. And it's not just about Wilkesboro, Moravian Falls, Roaring River, Rhonda, North Wilkesboro, Miller's Creek. There's so many historical photos in there, and my dad just loves collecting them. So every time somebody comes in and say, oh, I want a picture like that, sure, we'll get you a copy of that, but you got to bring me one of your own. So that way we continue to grow our collection.
Right. That's a great thing. Your family's doing well?
They are. They're fantastic. Just this time of the year, I try to spend a little more time with them. We always do Thanksgiving at Mom and Dad's house.
What do you have for Thanksgiving?
So we usually try to do, obviously, turkey. That's the big one. But brisket is one that we love to be able to do. So we always try to do a brisket with that. Probably... we have a big spread. I mean, I got a big family, honestly. So I have 3 brothers, and I have 1 brother and 2 sisters, so 4 of us total. And then, of course, our spouses and our kids. And then anytime cousins or aunts and uncles come, I mean, you can get anywhere from 30 up people that's at our house on a holiday like that.
So it's a big family celebration.
It is. It's the one time a year I say one time, we try to do it multiple times. 4th of July, we go down to the beach, and we spend that down there with family for a family reunion. Thanksgiving, we try to get all the family at Mom and Dad's. Then, of course, for the holiday week, we'll all try to get together. The hardest one is probably me getting away from Dooley's, but I it's hard for me to walk away from a business that I've spent 20 years building. And so I really just try to make sure they're all good. Say, all right, guys, I'm here in the mornings. I got you covered. I'm going to spend time with the kids now.
Yeah. See, just like that Santa thing. I'm telling you, it's
well, I did wear my elf costume this year when we were at the square.
I saw that. Well, you came up. I was just standing there watching the parade, and then hear this green flashing. I don't know if it's flash. It was like
costume,
sparkly.
yeah.
It was definitely an elf's outfit. So that was appropriate for the evening. That was perfect. Yeah, that was a great time.
I feel like a little Santa's helper there when I'm wearing it too.
Yeah.
So especially when I'm just giving away Xbox or PlayStation or Nintendo Switch.
That's a good thing.
That's part of that aura, that atmosphere of what we're trying to present down there.
Can you imagine? I mean, you got your family here, all these things we've talked about. Can you imagine not having this in your life?
I probably could, but it wouldn't be anything like my life. Right. So I wouldn't be living the life I'm living if that was the case, because it's just not me. It's not who I am. It's not how I was raised. This is definitely my life and what I do.
That's a big gift, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard work, but still, it's a big gift.
It's a lot of hours, a lot of time, but it's definitely rewarding to see the people's faces, to bring the communities together, and to continue to see our community grow as a whole.
Right. Are you excited about 2025?
I am. I think I'm going to have one of the best years. Spend time with my wife and kids, see our businesses grow. Like I said, we've got 4 new businesses coming this year over on 421. So it's definitely a big growth for us.
Right. Well, a few extra hours of work.
Yeah, we're going to have to scale back a little bit from one and add to the other. That's that point. Now, it's like I was saying, it's hard for me to walk away from Dooley's. I spend probably 50, 60 hours a week there, but I'm going to try to scale that back a little bit, maybe drop that to the sub 40 range so I can spend some time over at the other locations.
You have some good chefs there,
got
right?
great staff. I mean, I've had staff, actually, Shayla is celebrating 10 years with me this year. So she's one of my managers. She's been there with me basically since the beginning of Dooley's when we reopened. Not the beginning, since we reopened it. We did have a little 2 or 3 year stint where I sold it the first time when I had my son and my daughter, and I took a little bit of time because, again, family is the most important thing in my life, so I do try to focus on that. And with the birth of my 2 first children, I really wanted to spend a little time with them, so I took a step back. It didn't work well for the business side of things. The people we sold it to, they wanted to run it as a bar, and we all know Dooley's isn't a bar, it's a restaurant. Everybody comes in for the food, not to come in and drink. So it just didn't last, and it wasn't what we wanted for the community. And everybody kept saying, Seth, we miss Dooley's the way it should be. Will you come back? And so we did take it back over after about a 3-year stint. And we just said, all right, we're going strong again since. We've got the right staff in there. We focused on the food, the fresh ground beef, the in-house roasted meats. We actually just released a new menu a couple weeks ago. It actually happened the day after Thanksgiving.
You do that how many times a year?
Usually we just do a new menu about once every 2 years. Okay. We'll revamp it a little bit, but we have been playing with some new featured items, adding some things that have been a lot of requests. Probably the biggest request was the smash burger and our stuffed potatoes. So we finally added all those to the menu. So now we said we're going to consolidate our menu to make it easier. I was not even close. We got bigger on it. We did. We got bigger on the menu. My staff sometimes thinks I'm crazy, but they all love the items. They're like, well, how can you eliminate that? People ask for this all the time. So
I don't know that easy and excellent or easy and great is, I don't know that those always go together. It usually takes a bit of effort to make something really good, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it took years. I mean, it took us probably 6 or 7 years for people to say, oh, well, Dooley's isn't a bar, it's a restaurant. And to get that stipulation broke, that people would actually come out. And when we first opened, everybody thought we were Cheers. They were your little neighborhood corner bar. They would come in there. We knew where you would sit, what your name was, what you wanted to eat or drink. And while people would still come in at the beginning thinking it was just your corner bar, they quickly realized that, or the people who did come in at first realized that it wasn't anything like that. It was a restaurant focusing on the food. And it took the rest of the community as a whole probably a good 6 years to catch on to that. But once it did, it was just almost a overnight the switch flipped, and people were like, "Hey, have you tried Dooley's yet?
Right.
I have the most amazing fries."
It was the food. Right.
It's all about the food, and always has been. And like you said, it goes back to my culinary background. I love to cook. I spent this week, we were actually having a lot of Christmas parties and Christmas events, and so I spent a lot of time cooking those in the Torrey Oak. I love being able to go up there. It doesn't get used as much during the year, except for private parties and events. Christmas time, we just stay busy with events and holiday parties and bookings, and I just really enjoy being able to get back there. That's where I started cooking at, and that's where I learned to cook at. I spent 6 years under my head chef training me, and
feels like home.
It's home. It really is in that kitchen. I love it. So whenever I go home, a lot of times my kids are saying, "Oh, Dad, we want Torrey Oak chicken tonight for dinner," or "Oh, will you make that tortilla encrusted salmon or tuna or something like that?" So it's always one of my dishes that I'm making. They're always wanting it home too, and I'm like, "Oh, I just got done cooking it today, but okay, I'll still do it for you."
Well, Seth, this has been great. It's really good to see you smiling. The last time we were together, you were incredibly busy. It's not that you're not busy now, but you seem more relaxed. Is it the holiday season that does that to you, or are you just settling in more?
I think the last time we talked, it was race season. So that was a big thing right there. With race season, I'm staying busy with our Two Boros Performance Shop. Dylan and Eric do a fantastic job. It's great. We got a second car this year, so we had 2 cars that we were running. We're looking to expand again next year, starting our rental program. So people who want to actually learn to drive and rent a car to come out and drive, we've been building up that program this year. We took a little step back from the last time we talked. Dylan had his first child, Wilkes. He named him Wilkes Wilson. And so
that's wonderful.
Absolutely, it was perfect, right? It fit.
Wilkes.
Absolutely, Wilkes, Wilkes.
Right.
And that happened right there in April. We had him. So it was right at the beginning of race season. So we took a little step back, didn't race full time this year, focused on and handpicked the race that we wanted to do. Same thing next year. I think we learned from this year. Last year when we raced, I guess it was last year, technically it was 2 years ago, we were racing every other weekend on the Cars Tour. This year we didn't race near as much, but because of the baby and me with the focus on the business. Next year, I think we're going to try to run about a 10-race schedule. We're going to focus on our local tracks around Hickory, Tri-County, North Wilkesboro, of course. We have to race there.
It keeps you in the game, but you're not killing yourself.
Absolutely. It keeps us going. It really enjoy it, but without trying to overdo us like we did a couple years ago.
Well, good, because balance is important. But
it is.
You need to, Seth needs to be here in whatever form. Seth, the chef, Seth, the business owner, Seth, Santa, whatever it is, just to have that balance so you can be at peace with your family and they'll still love you and not say, "What's wrong with Daddy?"
I usually don't get that. I mean, I'm pretty good. My kids are awesome. They're amazing. I have 3 boys and a girl. They're fantastic. They don't really say, "Oh, where's Dad at? Why is Dad not home?" I'll walk in the door at night and I'll try to come home a little bit early, and I'll walk in and my middle son Liam will just run up and give me a big hug. And he's like, "Dad, you're home early, yay!" And then my youngest son Carter's like, "Dad's home. Will you play a game with me now?" Sure, buddy. Yeah. Let me change real quick. I just walked in the door. Let me cook a little dinner or something. But no, I do try to get away and spend as much time as I can with the family.
Good. Well, I know that creates good energy, and that's a wonderful thing. Well, Seth, happy holidays to you and your family and all the good people over there at Two Boros and Dooley's and upstairs the Torrey Oak.
Yep, the Torrey Oak.
And soon to be all these other things.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate it. Happy holidays to you guys also. I appreciate the opportunity to sit down and visit again. I always love when we have these conversations. I don't really feel like I get enough downtime, but to me, this is actually downtime, so I enjoy it.
Great. That sounds good. We'll see you soon, Seth.
All right. Thank you. Have a wonderful holiday season, everybody.
Thank you for spending time with us on Life in Wilkes. We value you as a viewer and appreciate when you share the show with your friends and family. Be sure to bookmark our channel and join us again on the next episode of Life in Wilkes.